Good morning and welcome to Exploring the Car. I'm Rob Castaldo, and I'm actually running late today, but I'm stuck in a little traffic. Well, it was traffic, it's clearing up now, but I'm in the mountains. So this Friday on Spiral Radio, I'll be doing the show solo, and I will be talking about the Dragon's Labyrinth and time gates here on our physical plane. And Saturday on my show Eye of Ra, my guest will be Paris Tassin. And Paris Tassin was on my Spiral Radio show a few weeks ago, and an hour was just not enough, so we're going to bring him on for a little bit longer on the Eye of Ra, either an hour and a half or the full 2. But yeah, for sure, it's going to be an interesting, exciting chat. I wanted to elaborate. I know I still got to do the video on Rex Nemerensis, but I wanted to do that from my house when I have a little bit more time. I wanted to elaborate on Mulengro and this virus for our consciousness and our psyche and our bodies. And this virus, spiritual virus, is the virus of many faces, the 7 faces. And all of these faces are working in unison to expand the network and to claim spirit bodies and to infect the collective consciousness of humanity, one by one by one by one by one, you know. And this entity, this thing, is part of the ultra intelligent insectoid AI biological technology, in a way. You know, it's pretty interesting. But part of this is programmable matter. It's part of this technology is being able to self-replicate and program matter. And I feel even drugs like heroin are being replicated and programmed for people to stay addicted, to create crimes, to enter the body through these drugs. This Mulengro and his 7 faces will make you feel greedy, will make you be gluttonous. All these different faces that are worn by this virus makes certain people who are very psychic and were going to go down certain spiritual paths in their life. This entity virus, this alien barb virus, will take you off of your spiritual course by making you drug addicted and all of these other 7 faces that get imprinted on your genetic memory and your consciousness. And I recently lost a good friend to a heroin overdose, and I feel this entity, this soulless machine, is self-replicating drugs and programming the drugs, and has worked. All these 7 faces have worked in unison, from the drug, from the plant, all the way to the consumer, making the drug dealer cut this heroin with fentanyl, making it extremely potent, and they are programming it to make these dealers put a lethal dose of fentanyl and combine it with heroin, where it's so potent that even cops dealing with it have to wear gloves because it gets into the skin. And once this programming is consumed, once someone takes this drug, it's almost impossible for the spirit to break free from the chains and the faces that manifest. And countless people are dying from heroin/fentanyl overdoses in the Hudson Valley and New York area. And like I said, all these 7 faces are working in unison, programming the drugs, programming the consciousness, enabling this virus to capture and harvest spirit bodies, souls, taking the right of the individual to be an individual. Like I said, it is a soul-killing machine. And like I said yesterday, to get rid of this thing, you have to abruptly, immediately stop hosting it. And say to it, man, tell it that you know it is a liar, it is full of deceit. A river of deceit is flowing through your veins from this beast. One of the archons. Like I said, an archon can be in many shapes and sizes. One of them can be an amoeba-like species that enters the brain and infects the brain tissue and everything within the brain. It's kind of an intense thing to think about. Being able to program chemicals and drugs and anything that is matter is that we consume affects us. And this self-replicating primordial ooze has found a way to interweave with what we consume as well. And the only way to stay away from it is to not consume it. So if you're a have a problem with drugs and you can't even explain why. You don't even like doing them. You're not even enjoying yourself. You're dependent on them. Your body gets sick without them. It quite possibly can become because you are infected with the faces of Mulengro. And you are hosting a machine that is hell-bent on capturing your soul and imprisoning your consciousness. And I'm not going to say who, but I recently contacted an author. I was going to have her on my show to talk about some things and to talk about this thing, Mulengro. And I came to find out that even this beast has infected her. Self-centered, thinking that you're completely right about what you're saying, criticizing others. You know, it's funny when someone says that they're gonna, you know, I don't mean any offense by this, but everything you said I'm gonna mock and make fun of and blah 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 because I am the best. You know, come on, man. Like I've said before, anyone who's talking like they have everything figured out and that, you know, everything that they say is completely right and that someone else is completely wrong, you need to be scared. You need to be scared if someone's acting like they have all the answers to everything. And what we do and say and create gets recorded into the eternal memory of this planet. And sticks with the fibers of you. Got to do a reading tonight. Interested to see what, you know, readings are interesting to me because I get to take a peek into someone else's life a little bit and a lot of people are raised without knowing what spirituality is or to even talk about it. And you know, to think about how this whole universe might be an illusion is pretty intense. And for those of you that hear me talking about AI and all of this, it doesn't mean that other entities and other places don't exist. It just means that they exist in a way I feel that is different than what we think it is. The best way to describe it, I feel, is like computer programs and video games and simulated existence and simulated levels. You know, you move to different planes and different levels of the video game. And I feel that's what this universe is. And that this experiment plane where we are was created and hijacked And this spiritual plane, this earth that we live on, has been hijacked from these dark forces for a long period of time. And that now, all coming to a head. And I want to get into the topic of the firmament too later, and what the firmament is. And you know, if we didn't have a firmament, would we be covered in water? Would our physical plane even be stable? What other updates that I wanted to say too? Oh yeah, next Friday I'm having Gary Wayne back on my Spiral Radio show, and we will be discussing Daniel from the Bible and who Daniel was. Was there a spirit or some kind of entity inside of Daniel? And also we'll be going over the Nag Hammadi and Yaldabaoth. And if this Yaldabaoth is the same being the Cathars describe as Rex Mundi. And, you know, I don't think the Cathars and the Gnostics all had the answers, but I do think that they were describing in a primitive sort of way things that we are talking about now. And it all is this Middle Eastern belief systems, you know, these Abrahamic things, but it goes more ancient than that. More ancient. It wasn't just made up. It was given to us for control, yes. For programming, yes. But we're not just meat. We are not just these beings of meat. We are technology. We are walking technology. We are star soldiers. We are here to create. And we are here to spiritually evolve and retain what we once had. We'll see you next time inside the Eye of Ra and Spiral out.